Hello friends and enemies or anyone else that wants to watch this channel. I hope you're all well. You might notice I'm a little bit puffy around the eyes today. It is allergy season here in Fahrenheit land, and when it feels like I'm bleeding out the eyes, I don't want to make YouTube videos, so that's why I've been a bit slow in YouTube videos. But I thought I'd better give an update on my beloved 993 911. It's really coming along. It's really starting to look like a smart little car. If you recall, I've just done the interior leather, which has really smartened up the whole interior and fixed so many blemishes and cuts and holes and cracks and so forth that were all over the interior, and just changing out the leather and changing out a lot of the vinyl has fixed just about everything in the interior, with the exception of the gear lever, which, as I said, looked a little like a camel's cock. So I got an OEM replacement which has arrived and has been installed and looks fantastic. You know, my concern was that we'd start to get too many blues in this car, but as it turns out, more from luck than management, we're really down to just two blues in the car. There's sort of a lighter blue and a darker blue. The seats themselves are a little bit lighter, but they actually match perfectly with the secondary trim, like on the armrests and the top of the grille. That blue and the secondary trim are perfect. And then there's a slightly darker blue, which is like the center of the steering wheel, the new gear lever and primary trim parts. So it's really a two-tone blue. So it actually looks really great. Now that I've done the gear lever and the gear lever looks perfect, I could consider rewrapping the steering wheel and buying a new handbrake. But they're both pretty good, so I'm not trying to make this car perfect, so passable at the moment. And the steering wheel, I could either have a new steering wheel purchased OEM, or I could wrap it with the same leather that I've got the seats. I don't know, it looks fine at the moment, so I'm not going to worry about that. What replacing the leather has done is it's highlighted the blemishes that before just mixed in with all of the problems. Now there's just two major blemishes left in the car. One on the passenger door panel, which is just this cut here, which just annoys me endlessly. And so I'm just going to have to replace that panel, which is easy enough to do, but finding that panel is quite tricky. There's a dismantler in LA that has every single 993 panel color with the premium sound, which is different than the standard panel, in every color except for blue. So I just have to wait for them to scrap a blue interior 993 and I'll get one of those panels, or if anyone knows where I can get one of those panels, let me know. But yeah, it's just a matter of time, and then I'll fix that blemish. And the other blemish is a cut in the vinyl on the driver's door. But this one, you can only see when the door's open, and it's a little cut, so I'm not too worried about that. So yeah, the interior really looks fantastic now, like it's as good as pretty much any other 993. So I also had the exterior polished. I had a guy come over and spent a few $100s and polished and got the exterior, just got all the minor scratches out and a lot of the swirls and the paintwork. And so the outside, well, it's not perfect, you know, there's a million stone chips still in the front bumper, and you know, there's little nicks, and you know, it's a 150,000 mile car. You can expect problems with the paintwork, but yeah, after a good polish, she's looking pretty sweet. Yeah, this car is, yeah, she's pretty fly now. Yeah, people are constantly commenting on what a beautiful car it is, which, being that it's such a cheap 993, is pretty nice. In fact, members of the public have started to take a real interest in preserving my car, I found out. On Saturday, I took my dogs for a walk around a local lake, and it's about an hour's walk, and halfway around it started raining. It wasn't heavy rain, it was just light rain, and I always have the top down, and so we were halfway around. I wasn't worried. It was just the dogs and I were going to get wet, and the dogs get very muddy in that state as well. And as we got back to the car, I look into the parking lot and there's someone erecting a tent, or like a tent-like thing over my 993. Yeah, this local, I don't know what he is, a plumber or an electrician. This guy had seen my car getting rained on with the top down and was so concerned that he put like a pole in the center of the car and started erecting a tarpaulin over my car to keep the water off the seats. And I arrived before he had finished, and he was, it's such a beautiful car, and I know these are extremely expensive, and I just wanted to save it for you. I'm sorry I didn't get to it in time. There's still some water in there, and don't worry about it. Thank you so much for being so concerned about my car. But a bit of water between friends, I'm not too concerned. It often gets wet. And I think he was fairly distraught to then see me wet and my muddy, wet dogs jump into the car with their muddy paws all over it, and we drive off with the top still down in the rain. He'd be absolutely catatonic if he learned that I actually washed this car with the top down as well. But yeah, very, very nice guy. He left a note for me. What was his name? Mike Champagne. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Mike watches my channel, but if you know Mike in this area, yeah, really nice of you to erect a tarpaulin over my car in the rain. So that was that. The other thing I did with the 993 is I've updated the lights, the headlights. So they just had the regular, I don't know, halogen lights in there. And I went with the Berg VX lights. This is not a sponsored product. They did not give me anything. I bought these normal retail. And yeah, the difference, and there's a lot, and when I put a picture of this on my Instagram, a lot of people commented that there's a lot of other options as well. Like this company here actually does the whole fixed beam unit, which makes it even sharper if you want to go that distance. Yeah, there's a lot of different LED and xenon options out there for the 993. But yeah, this kit here, they were I think $130 for the high beams and $130 for the low beams. And yeah, it was and with the 993, it's super easy to work on these things. Like there's just a little lever, the light pops out, you crack it open and you replace the light. It really is a 10-minute job and makes such a big difference. And I had all these grand plans to get my light meter and show you just how many more lumens there was between the LED and the old halogen. But for the life of me, I can't find the damn light meter. So instead, you get a video of the car in the rain and you can see the difference there. See, just as good. Looks cool in the rain, don't you think? Anyway, it does work very nicely. I had to adjust the right side down a bit once I'd done it, but the left side was just perfect. And so they're nice and even. Yeah, it's maybe in the low beam, it's maybe 3 or 4 times more powerful than the halogens were. Certainly seems that way to me. And the high beam is, who knows how much. It's really, you can really see the distance now. Obviously, it's not as good as a modern car's LED light system, but pretty much there, like 80% there. It's really a huge improvement over the standard. So that was a really easy upgrade, and I've also upgraded all the secondary lights, the brake lights, the indicators and so forth, all with LED as well. Some of that requires changing out a relay as well, so that it knows that it's an LED, so you're not getting fast flashes and so forth. Yeah, it's very simple to do, easy upgrades on the 993. So yeah, with the paint polished, I mean, this car could do with a repaint. There's no question about it. But as I've said before, I like that it's just the right amount of shitty, this car. Although it's starting to slide towards being too good now. But the paintwork not being perfect is really nice in that I can park the car wherever I like and not worry about getting a door ding or scrape or whatever. It's not going to bother me. But the paint still looks nice enough that for most people, they look at the car and go, boy, that's a real classic you got there, Nick. Yes, and that's the nice thing about a 993. It's not only a fun car to drive because it's not too powerful, it's very analog, you've got to think about it, you've got to push it, and it's a really great sounding engine. You know, the air-cooled engines have a very specific sound to them. So it's not only a lot of fun to drive, but because it's an older car, people are a little more approachable about it. You know, with a new 911, people think, is this guy a rich douchebag? Whereas with an old 911, people think, it's just a classic nice car. And so a lot more people approach me about the 993 than ever did with my newer 911. So that's nice as well. So yeah, loving that 993. It is my favorite 911 ever so far. And it's slowly coming together. It's starting to look like, a well looked after car. And I've spent probably, I think I added it up the other day, about between 34 and 35,000 on it in total. Purchase price, plus I replaced the tires, had the engine sort of serviced and looked after. I did the leather, as you know. I had it cleaned, put the new windshield in, and I've bought dozens of different bits and pieces for the trim just to freshen up the interior and parts of the exterior, new rubbers and new lights and so forth. So yeah, the parts are cheap. It's really easy to work on. It's just a pleasure of a car to own. So yeah, about 30, between 34 and 35. I don't know what the car's worth now. Now that it's looking pretty good, as soon as I can replace that door panel, I think the interior is going to look as good as any other 911. I could probably sell it if I want, not that I'm going to sell it, anywhere between 50 and 60,000 I think the convertibles are going for. Generally the convertibles are worth less than the coupes, and I see the coupes are going for crazy money. Lower mileage ones are going over 100,000 these days. It's insane. But yeah, a higher mileage one like mine, a coupe would be in the 70s, a convertible between 50 and 60. So yeah, still on the winning side. Who knew you could make money from doing up cars? So yeah, that's the 993. Otherwise, other news, yeah, I'm thinking about going to Long Island this week and visiting another YouTuber, Tommy, who does just terrible things to cars. He's got a Carrera T at the moment, a yellow one that he's lowered. He thinks he's a 15-year-old. I've got to go over and give him some grief. So maybe we'll do a video with him this week. Yeah, and there's other videos. I still got to get around to my GTS video. If everyone's asking for that, I'll get that done. Yeah, and I'll do my pilot's license next week as well. So yeah, lots to talk about. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. That's it from me today. Thanks for watching as always, everyone. Oh, that's the other thing. I might do another question and answer live session because it took me 2 years to do the last one. So let's try and step it up, Nick. And maybe I'll do one this weekend. I'll let you guys know. I'll do a quick video if I'm going to do that. Setting the stage to do a question and answer this weekend. If you want to ask me anything, doesn't have to be about cars, doesn't have to be about helicopters. It can be about raising soft toy gorillas. You know, things that I'm good at. Anyway, thanks for watching as always, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye then. And of course, if you're like me, you don't want to spend all day washing your car, do it in minutes. Get the rapid dry washcloth and dry towel. Excellent for washing and drying the car in just a few seconds, or your dog, or your rubber woman, or your aeroplane. These are just excellent products that I actually use every day, and if you buy them with the link below, it supports this channel. Anyway, thanks everyone. Bye then.